$20. That was all Brown expected to pay for a quick oil change. He saw the sign, drove into the shop and handed over his keys. 40 minutes later, an employee placed a $300 estimate on the counter. Nobody forced Brown to buy anything. There was no hidden charge. He simply said yes 5 times. So how did 5 small yeses turn a $20 visit into a $300 decision? And why did every yes feel safer than one uncomfortable no? Let us rewind. Brown's car disappears into the garage. A few minutes later, an employee returns carrying an inspection sheet. Some boxes are green. Safe. A few are yellow. May need attention. And several are red. Needs service. A few minutes ago, Brown's car only needed fresh oil. Now it has an entire medical chart. The employee starts with the engine air filter. It looks dirty. A new one costs $35. The filter may genuinely need replacing. The problem is that Brown can see the dirt, but he cannot tell how dirty is too dirty. The employee can. That difference matters. The shop has the tools, the measurements and the technical knowledge. Brown has a dirty filter in front of him and no reliable way to evaluate it. This is called information asymmetry. One side understands the problem. The other side has to make a decision without the same information. And because the car is already in the garage, replacing the filter feels easier than questioning it. Brown says yes. The bill moves from $20 to $55. Then the employee points to another red box. The cabin air filter. Another dirty filter. Another reasonable sounding explanation. Another $45. But this time Brown does not even ask to see it. He already accepted the first recommendation. The second one feels like more of the same. Brown says yes again. The total reaches $100. Nothing feels outrageous yet. That is important. Brown was never asked to jump directly from $20 to $300. He was asked to take several small steps, each of which seemed reasonable on its own. But the inspection sheet hides an important difference. A red box might mean something must be done now. Something should be done soon. Something is only recommended. Or something may have already been serviced recently. 4 very different situations. One identical red color. Red does not tell Brown how urgent the problem is. It only tells his brain that something is wrong. Then the employee points to a fluid service. The price is $80. Brown hesitates. This is the first recommendation expensive enough to make him uncomfortable. Then he hears one sentence. It may not be safe. Sometimes that warning describes a genuine danger. If a car is actually unsafe to drive, the warning matters. But Brown is not given a measurement, a photograph or a clear explanation of what might fail. He is given only the possibility of danger. And his imagination supplies everything else. The brakes fail. The engine dies on the highway. The car stops in the middle of traffic. One short warning from the employee. 8 imaginary tow trucks racing through Brown's head. The warning does not need to be false to create fear. It only needs to leave 3 questions unanswered. How likely is the problem? How urgent is it? What evidence supports it? Without those answers, declining the service no longer feels like postponing maintenance. It feels like gambling with the car. Brown says yes. The bill moves from $100 to $180. Next comes a cleaning service. $50. Then one more recommended item. $70. Neither one sounds enormous compared with a serious engine repair. And Brown has already agreed to the previous services. Stopping now feels almost stranger than continuing. The employee reads through the entire list and asks, "Would you like us to take care of everything today?" That question changes the decision. Brown is no longer evaluating 5 separate recommendations. He is being asked to approve or reject one complete package. Say yes, and everything is handled. Say no and it feels as though he is rejecting everything, including the item that might actually be important. That is bundling. Several different decisions, with different prices and different levels of urgency, have been packaged into one yes or no question. Brown approves the package. The numbers are only illustrative, but look at how they accumulated. Oil change, $20. Engine air filter, $35. Cabin air filter, $45. Fluid service, $80. Cleaning service, $50. One additional recommendation, $70. Total, $300. Brown was never presented with one outrageous $280 upsell. He was presented with 5 smaller decisions while someone else had his car, his keys and more knowledge than he did. And with every yes, the next yes became easier. So Brown was not only buying filters, fluids, and cleaning services. He was also buying the fastest escape from uncertainty. One signature, one payment, and the $20 oil change completed its transformation into a $300 bill. The solution is not to distrust every mechanic. Good mechanics prevent expensive breakdowns and make dangerous cars safe again. The solution is to stop treating every recommendation as the same kind of decision. Brown separates the inspection sheet into 4 groups. Do now. A safety problem or something likely to cause immediate damage. Do soon. Not an emergency today, but something that should be scheduled. Optional. A cleaning, enhancement, or preventive service that may be useful but is not urgent. Already done. Something the service history shows was completed recently. The recommendations have not changed. But 5 red boxes are no longer being treated as 5 emergencies. Brown does not need to become a mechanic to separate them. He only needs 3 questions. Question 1. Can you show me the problem? Ask to see the part. A photograph, a measurement, or a diagnostic result. Red is a color. It is not a diagnosis. Question 2. Does this have to be done today? Is the car currently safe to drive? What exactly happens if Brown waits? And by what date or mileage should the problem be addressed? If the car is genuinely unsafe, Brown takes that seriously. He does not drive a dangerous car simply to prove that he can say no. Question 3. Can you price each item separately? Brown compares each service with the maintenance schedule and the car's service history. If an expensive repair is not urgent, he can ask whether there is time to get a second opinion. Pausing does not mean refusing. Brown can approve the oil change, accept a genuine safety repair, and verify the remaining recommendations later. He is not rejecting expertise. He is asking expertise to become specific. At the next oil change, the inspection sheet appears again. But this time, Brown does not see 5 red emergencies. He sees 4 smaller groups. 1 item needs to be done today. 2 can be scheduled for later. 1 is optional. And 1 was completed 6 months ago. Brown may still spend more than $20. A cheap oil change does not guarantee that nothing else is wrong with the car. But this time, Brown understands what he is paying for. And the decision belongs to him. The lesson is not that every mechanic is trying to deceive you. It is not that every additional service is unnecessary. The lesson is simpler. A $20 oil change should not become a $300 bill until you understand every dollar in between. Trust the expertise. But ask for the evidence, the urgency, and the price. 1 item at a time.